What's up, YouTube? This is PB1 Wilson with the United States Army. I'm going to talk to you guys today about the recruiting process and the MEPS process for the Army. I'm assuming it's pretty close to the same for the other branches. As far as the recruiting process goes, it's not really that long. Not long for you, it's long for the recruiters, all the paperwork and stuff, which usually comes back to you, but it's longer for them. Yeah, I know a lot of people are afraid to go talk to recruiters, they're afraid of getting lied to and whatnot. Advice I give for that is, if you know what you want to do before you go in there and talk to them about it, just go ahead and do your research on it. If you know anybody in the military, talk to them about it. Me, fortunately enough, I was raised in a family with a lot of military history. My dad, for example, he was a 13-year vet in the United States Army. 19 kilo, he was a tanker, damn good. Just try to know, if you're afraid of them lying to you, you don't really want to get sucked into something you didn't want to do. Just kind of try to know about, what you're getting into before you go there. That way they can't really lie to you. Me, I was prepped by my dad, so I kind of knew what to look for and everything. I already knew what I needed to know before I went in there. So when I got there, I just flat out told him, like, hey, this is what I want to do. You ain't really got to persuade me. I'm here to do it. So you're gonna go in there. You're gonna talk to the recruiters. They're gonna feed you all the same crap they feed everybody else about. There's 200 different ways to be a soldier. They're gonna tell you about all these benefits like the BAH and BAS and all that, which is all good because they're not lying about that. They're gonna tell you about your base pay and your special pay, and it's all fine and dandy. You're gonna get all that. What you need to know is whether or not you're sure this is what you want to do or not. Just in case you decide when you get there this is what you want to do. For those who are not sure, go ahead and bring your basic documents with you, which is let's see, your driver's license, your social security card, your birth certificate, high school diploma if you graduated already, and you're going to need your high school transcripts, most of all. Can't even sign up to your at least 17 anyway. But you're going to talk to the recruiter and all this. They're going to sit you down in the office. You're going to take a small portion of the ASVAB. It's going to just be a little short version of it. The ASVAB is the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery Test, and what it is just a test that everybody's going to take to get into the military. There's two ways you can take it. You can take it down at MEPS, or you can take it down somewhere else that administers the test. Like me, I took it at a college in Ocala, Florida, and I went to MEPS over in Jacksonville, Florida. So I did them separate. But a lot of people take the ASVAB when they get to MEPS. But anyway, when you're going to sit down in the office and you're going to take this practice ASVAB test. If you pass that, they're going to tell you, hey, we're going to send you down to such and such to take the test, or you're going to take the test at MEPS. It just depends on the recruit. But anyway, I'll tell my story because this is what I had to do. Okay, so like I said, I took my test down in Ocala, separate from MEPS. So I come back, I sit down with a career counselor, and I reserved a job, which I ended up changing when I got to MEPS anyway. So fear not, if you reserve a job and decide later, hey, I don't want this job like I did, you can change it when you get to MEPS after you're done with your physical, when you get to the liaison's office. It's really not a long process in the beginning. You're either going to go to MEPS, I think it's a Tuesday and Wednesday, or Wednesday and Thursday. They're going to drive you down, you're going to stay in a hotel every night, and all that good stuff. First day, if you haven't taken the ASVAB, you're supposed to take it in MEPS. You're going to take it on the first day. If you are taking a test like me, all you're going to do is you're going to go in, you're going to get your photo ID done, you're going to get your thumbprint done, and it's just identification stuff that you're going to need the rest of the time that you're there. Okay, so I did that in the morning, so I had to sit there all freaking day, man, all day, until about 5:30 when the shuttle bus took us back to the motel, which gratefully was the nicest motel I've ever been to in my life. So you take your test if you haven't taken it yet, and then you get your photo ID and your thumbprint. If you haven't taken your test, I mean, if you have taken your test, you're still going to just get your thumbprint and photo ID done. And you're going to sit there, you're going to wait all day, and yeah, pretty much how it's going to go. You're going to go to the motel. Mine was pretty fun. I went, like I said, I went to MEPS over in Jacksonville, and we had a nice ass motel, huge room, nice, good food. Had a game room, you know, computer room, all that stuff. You know, for those of you who like that stuff. You got to be in your room by like 8 or 9 o'clock. You can't eat past 7 o'clock. All that stupid stuff. Yeah, but you got a 4 a.m. wake up call. This part's probably gonna suck for most of y'all, especially those who don't usually get up early. You're gonna get a wake up call at 4 a.m. My advice is get up. Don't make them have to come to you. You're gonna go down and eat breakfast. You got to be down to breakfast by like 4:30. You're gonna have to go and turn your room key in and all that. Bring your stuff downstairs with you. But don't eat. I think it said don't eat sausage or anything like that. Don't eat any greasy foods, hamburgers, nothing like that the night before, because it'll show up in your blood as protein in urine. They say it makes it look like you got AIDS or some crap like that. I don't know. It sounds like a load of crap to me. But anyway, yeah, bus rolled out for us at about 5:15, something like that. We got to MEPS at like 5:30, 5:45. You're gonna line up. I had a pissed off short little bald guy. I don't know, I guess somebody pissed in his Cheerios for breakfast. I don't know, he was mad as hell. And he had everybody lined up in formation. Everybody went in rows according to branch, and who was active duty, who was reserves, who was National Guard, who was leaving when and where. If you were leaving that day, you went in first, all that. You're going to walk in, you got to go through one of them big ass metal detectors. You got to sit your bags and stuff through an x-ray machine. You got to sit your bags in a room isolated from everybody else. You know, you can't have your phones when you're in the MEPS center because of, you know, government property in there. Don't want people taking pictures of stuff. But yeah, the second day is the fun stuff. You're going to come in, you're going to give them your folder, which your recruiter gave you. It's going to have all your basic stuff in it. It's going to have your original documents that I told you to bring in the beginning of the video. Then it's going to have your copies of it, all your medical reports, all that good stuff. And I think that's all I had in it. They're going to give you their folder, and it's going to be, you know, medical files and all that stuff you can go through the physical with. And yeah, again, this day is a waiting process until you actually get to do what you got to do that day, and then if you get done quick, it's going to be another waiting process. So what's going to happen is you're going to go sit down in the waiting room, and my advice to you is don't fall asleep, don't be loud, nothing like that, because you will get yelled at and you will get smoked. They will, if you sleep, you will get smoked. They will make you do push-ups and everything, even though they technically can't because you ain't signed up yet. But you know, most people like, oh shit, this guy's yelling at me, I better get down and do what he says, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, it ain't really nothing. It's really not that hard not to fall asleep. You're gonna be tired. You're gonna be lagging all day because you got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you probably stayed up late anyway. But yeah, just do what you're told. Be quiet. You know, don't act up, and just do what you're told. Yeah. But you're gonna get called in when you called into your medical. You're gonna go to the medical room. You're gonna take you straight back. This is what they did for me in this exact order. So I went in, and we went straight back and got our blood pressure done. All that good stuff. Just went straight back after that, and we got our hearing done. They take in this little room, and they separate everybody with these curtains. You know, put these headphones on. You got to press a little trigger button every time you hear a noise. And then after that, you're gonna go to a room. It's like, I guess he's like a counselor or something. He's a smart ass. If you go to Jacksonville, he's a fucking dick. Yeah, he's basically going to have you pull out all your paperwork, and you fill out the paperwork that you need to fill out and all that good stuff, and then he's going to send you down on your way to actually start doing your physical. You're going to go down this. The next thing I had to do is we had to go pee in a cup and go in the bathroom. There's going to be 2 stalls on your right. There's going to be like 3 or 4 urinals on the wall with no dividers. So if you're one of them shy pissers, I feel for you. Because we had a guy in there literally trying to piss for 45 minutes, and he could not do it. he had they got a rule where you got to piss before 11 o'clock or something like that, or otherwise you got to come back. And he went in later on and got it done. So if you're shy the first time, you'll be able to go back in and do it later. And you got a nurse watching you. So I know that makes a lot of more people nervous. That's just to make sure that nobody else is peeing in the cup for you. But anyway, you're going to turn around after being in a cup, you're going to put a lid on it, you're going to take it down to the end of the bathroom. There's going to be a divider wall to divide the toilets from the office room there. You're going to walk up to this window in the wall. There's going to be a nurse on the other side. She's going to test your urine for blood and protein, which is relating back to what I said earlier. Don't eat any greasy foods. They tell you that the night before, and don't eat past like 7 o'clock because it'll show up as it'll show up in your urine as like some shit, I don't know. And I've heard that it'll look like AIDS or something like that. You get that, but anyway, you're gonna go down, you're gonna take your blood, you gotta test your blood, make sure you ain't got no AIDS and shit, fucking Ebola, whatever y'all nasty people got. Yeah. Let's see. After you get your blood done, you're gonna go back into a waiting room. This is the part that everybody fears the most. All those people that are shy of needles and everything. You're gonna love getting your blood drawn because everybody fears the physical part. And that's not what everybody thinks. Everybody's so afraid that they're gonna get a finger shoved in their behind or whatever. There's a myth that people can get 3 fingers shoved in their behind. It's just not gonna happen. Neither one's gonna happen. All he's gonna do is tell you to bend over, and he's gonna just check, make sure you got no hemorrhoids on you. Just trust me, like my doctor, it was just as awkward for him as it was for me. He's, you're just gonna go in there, he's gonna check out your knees, your hands, shoulders, back, chest, listen to your heartbeat, all that stuff, listen to you breathe, just to, like, any of you guys that played sports, it's like a sports physical basically, he's gonna tell you to, he's gonna tell you to pull your pants down mid-thigh, and he's gonna just tell you to bend over, spread your cheeks a little bit. That's all that's gonna happen. He's gonna look. My doctor, it's like he hated his damn job. He's like, all right, pull your shorts down mid-thigh. You're gonna check for hemorrhoids. Motherfucker just, I don't even think he looked. So it's just as awkward for the doctor as it is for you. After that, you're gonna go down. You're gonna sit back in the lobby, and you're gonna get called into a room eventually. Where you're gonna go in and you're gonna do exercises in front of a different doctor, and he's going to make sure you have no physical limitations. You're going to get graded on everything. It's going to be a chart, and it's going to have like a 1, 2, or 3 in it. It's going to be 6 grades. You're going to want 1s all the way across. I got 1s all the way across. Especially if you want a combat job, you want 1s all the way across the board. You're going to do things like the duck walk. You're going to do fast walks. You're going to stand on your heels and toes, stand on one leg. You would actually think it would be a lot harder than what it actually is. And after that, he's going to call everybody in the room one by one, let you know if you pass or not. But you got to strip down your underwear for that, so you can actually see your whole body working as you're doing these movements. But don't be that guy who has something, I guess, had a bad night the night before or whatever. I had a guy in my group. He had his body hair shaved into an arrow, and it was painted red, man. I'm just like, what the hell? You look like you're on fire. How do you what happened? I guess he fell asleep at a college party, and some girls got a hold of him. Yeah, I gave that dude hell. Mental picture. I wish you guys could have seen that. But yeah, after that, you're going to go back and you're going to sit in your original waiting room, the one that you don't want to fall asleep in, nothing like that. You're going to get called into your liaison's office, you're going to take in your folder, you're going to sit down with your liaison, your specific one, and this is where, you pick your job. If you want to change the job that you reserve, you change it here and all that. He's going to send you up to the desk, telling them that you're phase 1, all that. You're going to come back to them, you're going to talk to you're going to talk to the main liaison there. She's going to send you back up to the desk and tell them you're phase 2, you're going to go in there, you're going to take a survey, get your fingerprints done, you're going to talk to some other guy who's going to discuss your contract with you, so all that good stuff, and then he's going to tell you you're phase 3. Phase 3 is when you swear in at the end of the day, and that's all you got to do. It's really not that bad. It's just a long wait, just try to be patient. I made a lot of friends while I was at MEPS, people I still talk to now, so just try to make the best of it. Just try to. When you're at MEPS, just be quiet, don't fall asleep, just do what you're told, listen. Mainly just listen. But I hope this video helped you guys. Hope you found the answers you needed. I'm going to be making some more videos, so check them out.